Hi guys, we're going to go through 5 pelvic floor exercises that are going to help you return back into high intensity interval training or back into jumping. You may have already tried Kegels on their own and found that they weren't helpful. I'm going to show you probably why they weren't being helpful and what we need to do further to get your pelvic floor ready for that impact. So what a Kegel is an isolated contraction of your pelvic floor muscle. It's squeezing and it's lifting. Isolated means it's contracting all by itself without any other muscles around it contracting with it. The very nature of high intensity exercises of jumping around means that our whole body is moving with it. And so no one has actually taught your pelvic floor how to move, how to handle impact. And so that's what we're going to do today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my new videos. Let's get started. The first exercise we're going to do is core breathing. Now what that does is it coordinates our pelvic floor with the rest of our inner core, so it starts getting them working together as a unit as they once did before you were leaking. So we want to get that coordinated again, and that teaches our pelvic floor to how to move with the rest of our core the way that it's supposed to. Let's get started. We're going to lay down on the ground. So because our pelvic floor and our diaphragm are supposed to work together as a team, we're going to coordinate this with our breathing. So I want you to take a nice deep breath into your belly, into your rib cage, and then you're going to exhale and do your Kegel at the same time. So your Kegel being a lift, or thinking of lifting your rectum vagina up towards your nose from the inside. So nice deep breath in. Exhale, lift your pelvic floor. You'll notice how my belly pulls inwards. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, lift that pelvic floor. Okay, nice deep breath into your belly, into your rib cage. Exhale, lift that pelvic floor all at the same time. You should feel this in your lower abdominal area as well. One more. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, lift that pelvic floor. Okay, next exercise we're going to do is our hands and knees core breathing, adding a donkey kick into it. So we're incorporating a bit of movement now into adding our pelvic floor contraction, and we're also working on a little bit of glute strength. So here we want to exhale, lift that pelvic floor as you lift your leg. So your pelvic floor is contracting the same time the movement is happening. Like exhale, lift your pelvic floor. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. You'll notice your belly will pull inwards at that same time as well. Exhale, lift. You should as well feel this in those lower abdominal area. That's that inner core working. Okay, we'll switch legs. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. So we're working your inner core, your pelvic floor, and your glutes all at the same time here. And then working on that coordination so your pelvic floor knows to contract when you're moving. Okay, next exercise is just a squat, and we're going to keep working on timing our pelvic floor with the movement with it. And eventually we're going to add a little bit of impact to this. So it's important that we get your form right and get the timing of it right. So when you do a squat, you want to sit back into your squat. So you should start the movement from your hips and not your knees. So sitting back into it, think about lengthening through your glutes and pushing up through your heels. Now, how we're going to get our pelvic floor into it is on the way up. That's when we're going to time that exhale, lift your pelvic floor. Exhale, lift. So sit back, exhale, and lift. Don't worry if you can't feel your pelvic floor contracting as much with this exercise. It's just because we've added a bit of movement. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. So this will make it easy to now start adding a little bit of impact into it, which will be our next step. But we're essentially timing our pelvic floor with the more challenging part of the exercise, or the work part of the exercise, which is when it's supposed to work for us or contract for us automatically. So we're teaching it again now that it's supposed to do that for us. Okay. Last 3, exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. Okay, next exercise is ski jumps, where we're actually going to now take our pelvic floor and add that little bit of impact to it. Okay, this is going to be the exact same thing as our squat. We just want to make sure our exhale is big enough to now also include the impact. Think exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. If we are exhaling while we are impacting, it means our pelvic floor is still lifting and working for us. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. We want that pelvic floor to be contracting for us when we're hitting the ground, and that means it's contracting to stop our pee from coming out. Okay, last exercise we're gonna do is slow jumping jacks. And jumping jacks are always a huge culprit for us leaking during the jumping jack. And so I'm gonna teach you the best way how to do it. So we're gonna slow your jumping jack down to start and think about still timing that pelvic floor. Exhale, lift your pelvic floor. Exhale, lift. So if we think about it, the time that we're gonna leak is always on the out part of our legs. That's what puts our pelvic floor at a little bit more risk. So that means that's when we want it to contract for us. So we're going to use that exhale again to tell our pelvic floor when we need it to work for us. Exhale, lift. Don't worry again if you can't actually feel your pelvic floor contracting. It will be a lot harder to notice that when our body is moving, especially if you feel it in your lower abs. You know that pelvic floor is working for you as well. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos. Check out my online program where I'm going to take you through step by step, week by week, exactly everything you need to strengthen your core and your pelvic floor so that you can return to whatever you want to without worrying about leaking or heaviness in your pelvic floor. I'm going to put the link below in the comment section. Don't forget to check it out.